Okay, you guys. Let's check it out. Okay. Awesome. Hey guys, what's up? RJ here. Welcome to Interviews with Entrepreneur Show. I'm back. You're looking me in different states. I'm wearing a cap today. My hair's got total mess. There's no salon overall here as well. So yeah, today we have a very special guest. If you have the idea about him, he started literally from broke and got gone through from like two Comma Club award winner, and he's also a two Comma Club X award winner. You also know him as the one and the only, the funnel dog. Please welcome Jeffery M Baneck. Hey, thank you so much for joining.
All right, thanks. Appreciate you having me on. It's great.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And guys, again, if you're watching it on live, you can simply use hashtag live. If you're watching it on replay, you can simply hop on and use hashtag replay. So again, thank you so much for joining in our show. And let us start like with a little bit of like intro. Like, who is the funnel dog? Like, how you got started into this stuff?
Sure.
Like,
So what's going to blow most people's mind is I actually started out in fitness. I used to be a personal trainer. I used to run gyms like I live in Las Vegas. So like the UFC gym, 24 Hour Fitness, LA Fitness, like all the different gyms. I ran all those. Well, I one time was a personal trainer, and I had this idea in 2010 for the first ever online personal trainer that was automated to do everything for you. So I'd always see sort of computers and web stuff like that. So one day I'm training one of my clients, and I start telling him about this, and he just stops me right there. He's like, Jeff, he's like, how do you like your job? And I'm like, Mark, what are you talking about? He's like, here, tell you what, I'll pay for everything. We'll be 50-50 partners, and I'm going to give you a salary on top of it while it's getting built. So I'm just like, okay, let's do it, right? I mean, like, this is like Shark Tank at the gym, like
that's awesome.
Yeah. So, but mind you, this is what's so crazy. This is all fitness. So a years goes by, we get ready to launch this thing, and Mark had allotted inside $100,000, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But at this point, we'd already spent about $115,000. And he was like, you know what? To market this properly, it's going to be another 100, 200, maybe even $500,000. I mean, this is new technology. I mean, apps were just coming out and stuff. So instead of that, he's like, I'm just going to back out. He's like, Jeff, here's the software. You can have it. But I'm like, I don't have it. I'm terrible at saving. I haven't been saving money, so I don't have any money to do this. So I have to go back to training. And I'm trying to figure out how to market myself, my gym. I'm trying to do like a boot camp. Like, how do I get people? How do I get views? How do I get in front of people online? So I'm studying under this guy named Bedros Koulian. He's an amazing fitness guru, sales guy. And one day he holds up this book right here. This book, some dude named Russell Brunson. Like, I have no clue who this is. But, Bedros is like, if you read, Bedros tells you to read it, you read it, right? I mean, that's what you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they tell you do something, you do it. You don't question it. So I dove all in on this book. And, man, it's crazy to say a book about marketing and about funnels and stuff can change your life. But it literally changed my life because all the sales skills, the marketing I've been learning about fitness now made sense, like up sales and down sales. I tell people it's like, have you ever seen the movie Matrix where all of a sudden everything started, he could see it? That's what it felt like to me. Everything was like, oh, wow, it all made sense. This makes so much sense now. So much so that I believed in Russell's vision that funnels are the future, websites are dead, that I actually got, this is a real tattoo, ladies and gentlemen, if you can see it there, that says funnel hacker on me. And this was like a commitment to myself. I did this April 4th, 3 years ago, just a couple weeks. And this was before I was anything. I was nobody. We were living paycheck to paycheck. My wife was supporting us at this time. I was maxing out our credit cards, trying to get every course I could. I was going to sleep on the keyboard, literally like waking up, putting play so I could watch Russell again. I mean, like I just went all in. And at this time, the ClickFunnels group, which is now like 250,000 people or something crazy, only had like 32,000 people in it. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, if I want to be really good at this funnels, how can I become a master? And I feel when you can teach others, that's when you truly master. It's one thing to learn it yourself, but when I know it so well I can teach you, that's when I think you truly master something. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go in the ClickFunnels group, and any question that's asked, I'm going to answer it for free. I'm not going to ask for money. I'm going to jump on whatever it takes. And that's what I did for literally 6 months, maybe even almost 8 months of just grinding in there, just in that group. Like if I didn't know the answer, I'd go Google it. I'd find it, YouTube, whatever. I'd jump on Zoom calls. I'd just delivering so much value. And also during this time, I was taking like courses by Ryan Dice. I was maxing our credit cards out, taking courses from Russell, because you have to learn. And sometimes you have to be willing to, you give time and money sometimes to be able to grow, and you have to be willing to invest in yourself. That's one thing, people, you got to be willing to invest in yourself. So I was doing that. I saw as invest in myself. At this time, my wife was supporting us. We were living literally paycheck to paycheck, maybe less than paycheck to paycheck, man. And I'll never forget it. One day I'm sitting there and I was watching Russell, man, watching Russell. And my wife had gone to work and she comes back and she's just crying, man. She's just like, it looked like, I'm like, what happened? Somebody died? What happened? And she's like, I got fired. And mind you, she was supporting us. So now we're like, we didn't have any money saved. So rent's coming up in like a week, and it wasn't even really her fault. They were throwing away some food. One of the girls wanted one of the little, the muffins they have at Starbucks. My wife was manager at Starbucks. So Tori's like, go ahead and have it. One of the other girls didn't like Tori, reports her to corporate. She gets fired for theft, even though they were throwing all the food away. So anyway, we're like, what are we going to do? We're able to figure out our first month's rent, but by the time next month's rent's coming around, we're having to pawn my wife's ring just to be able to pay rent. I mean, it's that bad, man. We're literally standing in food line because I can't. The only thing I can do is I see this vision. I can't give up on it. I'm trying to still figure this out. I know something's going to happen. I just feel it. Like I said, we had to pawn my wife's ring to pay rent. And the sad thing was at that time, it wasn't even enough. Our rent was $1,200 and the ring, because we didn't make a lot of money, small ring, was $800. It was all we could get for it, So we still had to come up with another $400 I had to borrow from people just to pay rent. It was really rough, man, really rough. Literally probably one of the worst times in my life. And then all of a sudden I'm in the group one day and some guy named Kevin David puts a post in the group and he's like, I need help with funnels. And they had just 2 weeks before announced the top 10 contributors to the group. And I was the second highest contributor. The group had grown to 78,000 people. And I was the second highest person in the group.
Indeed.
Right. So everybody, and also because I had been helping everybody starts tagging me. They're like, Jeff, this is the guy you need to talk to, because I had delivered so much value to the group that they just instantly all tagged me up. So I start talking to this guy, Kevin. I don't know anything about him at all. He wants to see some funnels. I show him some certifications I have. I stop. I'm like, I got a tattoo. He's like, well, hey, if you got the tattoo, dude, you obviously are legit, right? And I'll never forget that day, man. He paid me $6,000 to build out his entire. So what the Funnel Doc does is I build out entire ecosystems, funnels, emails, messenger bots, everything that's encompassed to make the funnel happen. And he paid me $6,000, and I thought I was rich, dude. I'm like, woo, we're paying off the bill, baby. We're going out to Red Lobster for dinner. Yeah, all right. I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like $6,000 is a lot of money,
Yeah.
And so we were able to catch up on everything, get the ring out of pawn. Everything was great. I built out this first funnel for Kevin. It's for a course on how to sell on Amazon, Amazon FBA or fulfillment by Amazon. We launched that May 15th. 57 days later, we'd done $1.2 million in sales. At that time, that was the record in ClickFunnels, the fastest anyone had hit $1 million at that time. And it was amazing, man. It was just so crazy seeing that happen, because mind you, I'm going from a guy who makes maybe 30, 40 grand a year we made over $100,000 twice in just a day. We had one day $108,000 and $132,000 in one day on this thing, dude. It was crazy. Imagine seeing the numbers up to 1.2 million. It was wow. So that was my first experience of real success. So now ClickFunnels is having this event called they're doing a viral launch for the gold digger and the squirrel. They're like trying to say websites are dead, and they're bringing in all the top influencers to Boise, Idaho. And Gary Vaynerchuk is coming here and he's giving a presentation to everybody. Oh my gosh. So they invite Kevin, and Kevin being the amazing dude he is, because he's getting all the acknowledgement because I built everything, but it's his funnel. You know, he owns it. So it's his course. You know, he's getting all the money. I didn't get all the money. I got $6,000, you know. But him being the amazing dude he is like, you know what? I'm not going to go unless Jeff can go. And ClickFunnels is like, sure. Russell's like, sure, whatever, dude. He can go. I don't care. You know, so here's this, mind you, this is the first time I've ever been to like a conference or anything. And here's Gary like 10 feet away, taking pics with him and hanging out. I'm like, yeah, this is normal, right? This is what but during his presentation, I'll never forget this because I believe Akbar. You know Akbar.
We just interviewed before you. We just interviewed Akbar.
Cool. Yeah, Akbar. He's actually a really good friend of mine. And at that time, I had just been following him online, and I knew to myself I needed some mentor in this new game I was getting. I just love Akbar's give more, get more, or make more, give more, all that his stuff that he does. And I was like, I want to know more about this guy. And they had Akbar and the influencers that time. Yeah. And I'll never get it. Gary's up there in this presentation. And I look across the room, and I'm like, holy crap, it's Akbar. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm going to go talk to him, which I wind up doing. But I'll never get this moment because this is like, if you have that ever moment, everything clicks and you're like, this is how it's supposed to be. I look across the room, I see Akbar, but then I pan to his left, and seeing his left is Bedros Keuilian, the guy who introduced me to this book that started the whole journey. Installed that made it all possible. So I introduced Bedros. We wind up setting the Guinness Book World Record, which is this guy. So I'm now in the Guinness Book World Record with ClickFunnels. Yeah. I get invited to all these VIP. I go to Puerto Vallarta, presentations there. It's just amazing. We launch this one was for a Shopify course. That one took a little longer to hit. It took about 6 months. But then this one blew up. Now has done over 10 million. We did over 10 million to get the expert, which is this guy. And it was only in 18 months. So since then, in the last 3 years, I've launched 2 more clients funnels that have done over $1 million. So I have 4 2 now. And the last one we did $844,000 in 7 days. So that's what we do. That's a funnel doc. And that's my story. I went from personal trainer that my dream was maybe to own my own little gym somewhere, have my own business. And now, I help grow their businesses to 6, 7, and 8 figures. And now I'm living pretty good and have a pretty decent life. So
that's insane. That's an insane story because, during this time and everything else, I can simply resonate with each and everything because, like I started with ClickFunnels with last year on January. When I started ClickFunnels, I didn't have the idea what a funnel is because, each marketer I saw was talking about funnel. I was thinking about, okay, what's a funnel? Like I didn't have the idea. And, they're like connecting dots overall because once I was learning about what is a funnel is, I saw a post by some guy on Instagram. This guy made like $3 million in 90 minutes. His name is Russell Brunson. I was like, okay, he have like something called funnel, something like that. Then I started ClickFunnels and, it was like way too harder for us as well because we have different currency differences. We have like a dollar is like 165, these type of stuff. And like I'm a student, I'm 20 years old and living in a hostel and everything. So there was like huge difference for me. I was like, okay, I need to get into funnels. This thing can work for me, but I need to do something. Right. So I started my overall journey and ClickFunnels support was way too kind enough to give me like 2 months of trial. They said, okay, have 2 months of trial, have a look. I haven't still made any type of commission and everything. But, as you said, the exact same thing I did, putting out, posting and everything else, like in the group, providing value so that finally, after like 6 months, made my first commission. My first sale overall, I was like, holy cow, this thing works. I'm making like $100 a day. And yeah, that's insane. Wow. That works. So that was, overall the belief that got broken. I was like, okay, if I can make $100 a day, I can overall can move ahead and like do something like that and everything. I was like, okay, that breaks our limiting belief that we simply had. I was like, okay, then I can simply hop on and do the stuff, and yeah, it is super exciting. Yeah. So like, there's a question for the funnel doc. How do I become an expert funnel builder like you? Do you have a course?
I do have a course, actually. It's called Funnel Labs. If you go to Funnel Labs / let me double check the link. I think it's enroll. I'm actually doing my beta now that you mention it, and there's only 8 spots. So let me check the link. That's why I don't know what it is. Let me see. Funnel Labs or Funnel. Let me pull it up real quick, and I'll put your link in the chat. But yeah, I have a full course that actually teaches. It teaches how to do lead magnets. It teaches you how to make a Facebook profile funnel so you can get organic traffic. It teaches you how to do sales funnel, webinar funnel, and it also does the 30-day launch sequence before launching an actual funnel, and then the 60 days afterwards. So many people don't understand that important part that's the follow-up once you launch. There's a huge important aspect that's covered in that as well. So yeah, let me grab that link real quick. What other questions do you guys have?
Yeah, so yes, simply let us know the link. I will put in the description so that people can come up for that. Yeah, awesome. So when we talk about these type of things, you know, you are like one of those guys that if someone is in the Clickfunnels community, people know about, you know, because of like everything that you've done during the journey, like tattoo, like having the embarkment. Okay, we are not going anywhere. We are going into Clickfunnels. That is it. That is our full stop. Okay, we're not going anywhere else. So like, how you thought about, okay, have you got yourself the name the funnel doc, like how that come up?
So great question. So originally, before I'm very patriotic. I love my country. I think America, it's not perfect by any means, but it's one of the best countries out there, I feel. And I joined the military straight out of high school for 4 years. So I was a medic in the military. So I started seeing people's funnels, and I was like, people's funnels need fixed. They're sick. Maybe I can make them better. I was a medic, funnel doc. But the funny thing is, it was really now, as you know, everywhere I go, which I'm just honored and blessed for this amazing, it's just a blessing. But people now see me, they're like, they don't even know my name, but they know the funnel doc. You know, I've literally people, I don't know who you are, but you're the funnel doc. When I originally did this, it was hard, man, to put this jacket on, because realize this is putting something on you that people might say is funny. It might not be cool. It might not resonate with people. What if people laugh at me? So the first couple of times, I'm going to be honest with you guys, it was like, it was a commitment to put it on, just because once I go all in and make the funnel doc, like, you got to sort of go on that too. So don't be afraid if something might fail, because if you don't try, you'll never know. Imagine if I never put this on because I was too scared of what someone would say. What would happen right now? Where would I be? Who knows? You know?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is insane, because when I booked the interview and everything else, I was like telling the guys, like, I'm interviewing funnel doc. They knew funnel doc, they didn't knew the name. They was like, holy cow, like, that serious? So they were like, the funnel doc. Okay, so because they knows and these type of stuff and everything. So yeah, another question comes up. I have just put it up the link, guys. If you want to go and check that out, you can simply check that out as well. So it will be awesome. So there was a question. Do you think using funnel is duplicatable for like building a MLM? Like, let me put up the question overall. Yeah. Duplicatable for building a MLM or network marketing team downline? If you think it's possible, how do you show them that it is?
That's a great question, Sonia. Now, if you're looking at specifically growing your downline 100%, because you can use what's called like a lead funnel, where you can do like an intro video, you talking about their MLM opportunity, your downline, how being part of your team is going to be, because you realize the one thing that people don't understand when it comes to MLM, selling your product and growing your team are two different things, and they have to be looked at. The MLM tries to sell you, they're like, oh, you can do it all. But it's really hard. I've done it. It's really hard, even with like affiliate stuff, like selling or growing a team, So think of it that way. If you think of it for network marketing is growing your team 100%, because you can start building information sites inside the back end and membership sites that walk them through how to be successful. You can build lead magnets. So like if people want to learn how to make money online, now they get your lead magnet, which shows your opportunity is the number one way to make money online and refers them back to you, plus email follow-up. Yeah, really, if you want to follow someone that I really love, he's a good friend, Stephen Larson. He's an amazing dude.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
look up Stephen Larson, MLM, great free information out there will blow your mind. Go to his YouTube. You'll get so much info and it's all free. It's all free. You'll probably want to buy in something from him eventually because he's so good, but it's all free and it will help you out a lot when it comes to MLM. 100%.
Absolutely. Hope, Sonia, that makes sense. And yeah, when we think about MLM and regarding with funnel, we think about Steve Larson. Insane, right. Insane overall.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's one of the other question like funnel log. What's a realistic time frame for anyone to be expert at anything? Like, what do you think?
So it really depends on how much you're willing to go all in. You know what I mean? Like for me, realize this is the amazing thing about the internet. We can speed up our learning process so fast because it's like, how much are you willing to consume and how much are you able to retain of what you consume is how quickly you're going to be able to grow. Some people could be 6 months. Some people, it might be 2 years. That's the great thing about the internet. There's this amazing thing out there called, listen, Google. If you don't know the answer, you can Google it. I bet you can literally type in your question and you will find the answer out there, people. Don't be hindered by like your limiting beliefs like we were talking about before about, hey, I don't know where it is. There's so much free information out there. Even if you're broke, even if you don't have credit cards, Google it, baby. You'll find the answer, I promise. And then YouTube is right now such a search-based medium. How do I do X? How do I do Y? There'll be videos galore out there. Trust me, you can find the answer. You just have to be willing to work your butt off. Like it's either one of the things, time or money. Which one do you have? If you got money, cool, buy some courses. If you got time, then you're going to have to research and watch a lot of videos, but you can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope that makes sense. I just put it up the link for the Google as well. If you don't have the time, you can simply do that,
There you go,
and yeah,
brother.
Aditya said Google is your mother. Yeah, absolutely. It is, any knowledge you need, you can go for Google. You got it. And yeah, let's talk about like funnels. When anyone start out and start working on they take it funnel overall wrong. It is one thing, that is it. What do you think when you think about funnel? Like how you think about funnel and what mistake people make when using funnels?
Yeah, the thing with the funnel is sometimes they try and incorporate too many things into one thing and like they're trying to get leads. Realize the funnel does basically one of two things. It either gets more leads, potential customers, or what leads are, who you want to buy your product, or it sells something. Don't try and interweave them. And that's one thing a lot of times people are trying to, I'm going to capture their email and then they don't get enough opt-in and people don't see enough sales page. Realize it should be to get more people into your ecosystem via leads or to make sales. Another big mistake people do with funnels is they get very detail specific. Like for instance, if they wanted to buy my Funnel Doc Twitch cup, I like Twitch. They'd be like, it holds 12 ounces of coffee. It's got a logo and they're talking, but like no one cares about that. They want to know how it's going to keep my coffee warm. What pain points do I have? So when you're building funnels, don't use the details of what the product is to highlight whatever problem you're solving. Realize people don't care. It's sad to say, but the people buying from you don't care about you. They care about what you're selling and how that's going to help them. So if you don't tell them how it's going to help them, why would they ever care to buy it, man? They don't care if it's got 36 volumes and 8 hours of it. That doesn't sell. How is it going to change my life? That's what funnels have to be able to walk someone through that journey too. Think about a funnel too. When you first see a funnel, people want it to where it like knows very little to nothing about the product all the way to when they get to the end. They're like, this is the greatest ever. I can't live without this. You need one of these too. Everybody, like that's a real funnel. So.
Yeah, absolutely. That literally makes sense because, people need emotions to overall, sell. It's not like logics overall. When I think about these type of things, I always remember what like Dan Lok have the favorite thing, like sell me this pen. And if someone who wants to sell it like on a psychology, not a psychology base, we can simply say on the fact base, because then look, look, this is a pen. If you see, this nib, it's so sharp. If you can see that, so these how the people can come up and sell in a logic way, but in emotional way.
Right.
You need to write a letter to your loved one out there. Like that person. You need a pen to write a letter. So
Yeah.
you need that. If you don't have a pen, how you write and how you can simply give the message. So that attracts them. Okay, you need to go and buy the pen. You need a pen for that.
Right. Over
Overall.
80% of all sales start logic based. It all start are emotional based. I'm sorry, emotional based. Almost all sales start emotional based. So if you're not hitting those emotional triggers, they're not going to ever get down on the logical part. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. So there is one or more question. Okay, let me put that question overall as well. My question for Funnel Dog: how does a two comma club marketer workspace look like? What we need in our small room where we out of sales message in front of a wall.
So I think realistically that you can easily get to 6 figures, close to 7 figures by yourself. Like you can be your own team. You don't have to be. It's when you go from 6 to 7 figures that you really need to start getting specialists underneath you. Like for instance, starting out, you might be able to get away with building your own funnel, but to be able to go to 1 million and beyond, you're probably going to have to get someone to do that for you. You don't want to be your business. You want to work on your business, so you need to find experts. Like starting out, you might be able to get away with running Facebook ads, but most likely there's someone out there that for not a lot of money that's probably better at it than you. You know what I mean? So you want to surround yourself with those experts, and that's how you grow from 6 to 7 and 8 figures is by surrounding yourself with the experts and then running your business, not letting your business run you. And trust me, I made that mistake initially when I first started out, man. All of a sudden, when we blew up, we had like 4 clients. Next thing you know, we have like 13, and it's all me, and I'm building everything. That's like impossible, man. That's like, so you can't do that. You need to make sure that as you start to grow, that you put a team and do it chunk by chunk. Don't overwhelm yourself. Start out this way. What do you hate doing the most? Find somebody to do that for you. You know what I mean? Like if you hate writing emails, find somebody good at email copy for that, and then build your team around you. So that way you can have a strong business, and it will be able to scale that way as well. You can't scale yourself.
Exactly. That literally makes sense because as Russell says, like focus on who, not how.
Right.
Like if you're focusing on each and everything, you are like lowering yourself and higher income overall that you are simply trying to get. Because you're focusing on these things that you're not supposed to do. Like you can simply outsource anything other than your attractive character overall.
Right.
So let's talk about Dream 100 overall. Like, what do you think about when you talk about Dream 100 overall? Like, what Dream 100 means to you?
Dana's a good friend of mine. Man, that's amazing who I know now. That's sort of crazy. It's sort of crazy when you really like. It's wild for me too when I sit around and like you're naming all these people, and I'm like, yeah, oh, he's a friend too. Like it's just really weird because like 3 years ago, I was a personal trainer. Like just now, like. Yeah. So anyway, it was just sort of a weird moment there. But anyway, Dana's an amazing dude. He's a friend of mine. We were at CarrotCon together. I love his Dream 100 concept. I think he's tweaking it and refining it. I think it might need to be narrowed down a little bit. I find that following 100 people, engaging with 100 people is really hard. Maybe your Dream 25 or Dream 10. But everything that he teaches about engaging, following, finding, all that stuff is 100% on. You got to think about it in a way, like Russell, like friend requested me, like I've like
that's insane.
I was able to like I saw everybody interviewing Russell, and I messaged Russell and was like, hey, can I interview you? And he messaged me back. I was like, sure. And I was like, wow. So I sort of Dream 100 in him with his tattoo and stuff. When you think about it, when I was giving all the value to the group, you don't think that they didn't see all that going on, that here's this guy that's just spending hours just helping everybody and helping our company to grow by delivering value. That's Dream 100. I didn't know it at the time, but that's what it is. Like if you don't necessarily have money, find ways to deliver value to people until eventually they recognize you and somehow it comes back. So I'm 100% think the Dream 100 is great. I would just, especially when you're starting out, maybe focus on the top 10 people, because it's hard. 100 people is a hard number to manage, especially when you're starting
Yeah,
out.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense because when Steve talked about like Dream 100 and everything, he said he has only one person he have like Russell. That's it. He
Right.
don't had any person. So like
Right.
when you overall put it down the Dream 100, like who were like top five that you put it up when it comes to like Dream 100 list? You had Russell because you had his tattooed overall. Like who were the other four? Like what do you think?
Well, it was funny because now Steve and I are pretty good friends. But Steve, he used to be Steven Larson back then. Now he's Steve. But yeah, I was a fanboy of Steve back then. Like I'll never forget when we got this. He was on the field with me, and he was walking up, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, oh my god, that's Steve Larson right there. I'm like, oh my, and I went up to him and like talked to him. And I'm like, oh my god, I just talked to Steve Larson. This is the coolest thing ever, dude. So like Steve was. Akbar definitely originally was one of my initial Dream 100 people as far as that goes. That was probably the top ones. There was, it's weird because I've been very blessed at that initial conference. I met the influence people. I met a lot of people at that, and they've become friends of mine. And as they've grown and become big, like I don't know if you ever know Arnie Geske. He does. He is he's a good friend of mine. Jeff Miller. It's like all these guys now. They've just blown up and become super. Successful. They were like friends. But if I was to look, those are the people that I do now. If I was up and coming, I'd follow someone like if I want to do agency, maybe like Jeff Miller or you could do like I said. Another person that's great is Akbar Sheik's amazing to follow. Or, there's so many different people right now, especially in the ClickFunnels group. We're really blessed that there's a lot of just good people out there. And I think that one of the things that we should all learn from this is don't ever be afraid to like try and approach someone, because like if RJ had been too afraid, or I'm sorry, RJ, I have minor dyslexia. JR had been too afraid to message me. I mean, who knows if I'd even been, I would never came here and not be talking to you guys now. So, got to be willing to go all in. Who knows what will happen? So,
Absolutely, like that makes sense because there's no like such bad thing like in asking. The least answer will be no. That is
right.
it. What might be if that is yes, it makes a difference. That is overall case, and people, these are the things people need to understand. So
Right.
yeah, there's like one more question. Like it was going a super awesome session, but because I don't want to take much of your time,
What's
but
up?
here's a question. Do you think I should offer like my best item at the top of the funnel? At the top of funnel as a freebie or as a pay offer and include a different freebie?
Well, it depends on your value ladder, how it's designed out. Ideally, you want whatever the initial free offer to be high value, because that's like your first date. That's how they're forming their opinion of you. And if they're like, wow, this is the free stuff that Sonia gives out, I can only imagine what her paid stuff is. But you need to have a value ladder that goes free, mid-tier, like self-liquidating offer, like a core offer, and then possibly even high ticket stuff. So it really depends on Sonia, what product line we're talking about. But think about this: whatever you're giving away as your introductory offer, don't ever skimp on it, because this is the first thing they're seeing of you. And if they think you're cheap, or they think that you're like, oh, this sucks, they're obviously going to think, you probably aren't that good either. But if they get in there just like, wow, this is so amazing, they're automatically going to think that your paid stuff must be that quality or even superior, and also it's the reciprocity, the give and get. Like if someone holds the door open for you, you almost feel like you are obligated to hold the door open for them. If you give some high value, they're going to feel that they need to give back to you, and it might be a follow on your group, it might be buying your product, but give and get. Always give initially as much as you can. Don't ever skip on that.
Awesome. I hope that makes sense as well. Like you need to realize how you're targeting your product and everything. You need to realize what your offer is. Russell have put up many type of strategies when it comes to promoting products, value ladder, like as the funnel doc said, and everything about that stuff. And there's one guy who said, like, how are you spending like your this situation? Like, how are you spending this situation right now?
Well, see, it's sort of funny because I live in Las Vegas, so we live in a just outside the Strip, and we don't ever really go to the Strip. I mean, like, people will come into town, we'll go to dinner and stuff occasionally, but being an online marketer, I don't go out much, unfortunately. It sucks now because, like, if we want to go out to dinner, there's no going out to dinner. But I've been blessed that so much of my business and everything's online that really not a lot's changed. I'm not able to go to the gym, things like that. But I'm really blessed. And I think people right now need to still realize there's still a huge rush of people looking for opportunities online. So like Sonia with her MLM, like right now, there's so many people that are coming online typing into Google, how do I make money online? How do I start a business? How do I be my own boss? Those are the things that you really need to think about. So don't be afraid. Maybe you start doing lives, maybe start shooting YouTube videos that answer those questions, because those are the questions people are asking right now.
Absolutely. That makes sense. So yeah, one of the last questions before we like round this stuff up. So okay, guys, I let me say it again. I have already put up the link in the comment section down below. I will do a pin post. I have set up two links. One is the Photoshop link, another link is the Google one. So you can simply use that as well.
Right.
Now, the last question, like, what's your greatest lesson learned overall from your previous life of the struggle to this abundance? Like, what you've learned so far throughout the whole journey? What do you think?
It really boils down to, you have to be okay with, and this is what I tell some of my coaching students too. I'm like, look at whatever the worst possibility is, and if you're okay with that, go all in. Like, don't be don't be afraid to fail. So often people are so worried about failing. Realize you're going to fail. Very rarely is the first time you launch a funnel does it blow up like this. There's been times where I've had to do iteration 4, 5, 6, and then finally 6 is the one that does it, or 7 sometimes even, So don't be afraid to fail, because think about this. What if that funnel number 6 is the one that blows up, but you give up on funnel number 4? Like, what if you're like literally around the corner for success? And think about this. What if you have to fail 5 times? You should be trying to fail faster, because then you'll get to that success faster. So do not be afraid to just ready, fire, aim. Go for it. For all the top entrepreneurs I know, that is one of the things. They do not hesitate. It's we're going to go now, and we're going to course correct as we go. If we need to pivot, we'll come over here. We pivot, we'll go over here. But you got to be go. Stop trying to be perfect. It will never, ever, ever come. Just go.
Exactly. Hope that makes sense, guys, because that is the exact same thing that overall happened to me. Because being in a tier 3 countries overall, we have like ton of issues overall that come up throughout the time. Because first problem that I got, because I overall started with Shopify and everything. Most people start with e-com and they think that's easy to do, but it's not overall. Yeah. The other problems I got was that I didn't have the proper payment gateway. We don't have PayPal, we didn't have Stripe as well. I was like had $126 in my bank account. I was like, I need to form the LLC. I need to do that. Suddenly my card swiped up, everything was zero. I was like, I've invested everything. Now it's like do or die. You need to get into it, or just sit back and relax and think your money is gone. That is it. So that's like, if I like did it, took action, I haven't got into where I am right now, on my path overall throughout the journey. The reason I got where I am right now through my whole process is the reason I haven't quit overall. Anytime like I try to do things, if it's failed, nothing happens. I can simply start over all again. Nothing happens. The only thing that matters is that the knowledge I have in my mind. That is it. That is all it requires overall. That's the exact same thing I had with, we had overall like the interview lined up with Jim Edwards. Mm-hmm. And on that purpose, we had the interview lined up with Jim Edwards, and FB suspended my account all of a sudden. Like 4 hours prior, my account got suspended. I was like, this is the worst thing that can happen. Like, my account got suspended, everything, worst thing happened to me. And I was like, this thing wasn't supposed to happen that way, because on that before that interview, we interviewed Spencer. So that was like worst case scenario that happened to us. I was like, okay. I was like a little bit frustrated during the time, because Facebook is gone, like everything gone from Facebook. And then I started everything, and I tried to do the exact same thing that I did earlier. Now, because the thing is that even though if I'm starting out, I knew the things that needed to be done in a proper way, rather than starting out just having a Facebook account with a Ferrari on your cover photo That's not the case right now. Now things can be optimized in an easy way because now the process is understandable. So then things went insanely great, and then get the idea. So yeah, guys, that is super awesome. And again, thank you so much for joining us in our show. And like, any last thing that you want to say for, like, before we round these things up?
And I just want to thank everybody for watching as well while we're waiting for any last comments. This means a lot to me. Just being here, you guys showing up, listening to my story, caring even what I have to say. So I appreciate you guys so much. It means so much because, without you guys, there is no Funnel Doc. So thanks a lot for being here. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we've answered all your questions. I love you guys. I wish you guys the best, man, for sure.
Again, thank you so much, guys. I've put it up 2 links for you. If you need any help, you can simply reach out to me and reach out the Funnel Doc if you have any type of queries out there. Otherwise, like, I'm totally available for you guys. And let's see you for the next show. Peace out.
Later.